Every year in Bulgaria, a sprawling gathering takes place. Young women are dressed in elaborate new clothes, heavily made up, and paraded before crowds of men waiting to buy them as brides. The financial mechanics are straightforward, but steep. Suitors offer dowries ranging from 1,000 to 10,000 euros. The final price depends entirely on negotiations between the parents. This system dictates the futures of young Roma, like 21-year-old Maria, who waits to catch the eye of a wealthy suitor, and 17-year-old Teni, who is actively searching for a wife. This is an active socio-economic institution, where modern-day negotiations determine the specific trajectory of these young lives. The behavioral rules imposed on these young women are absolute. They must remain virgins. They are routinely pulled from school by age 16, and they face severe punishment if they socialize without permission. Above all, the clan strictly forbids marrying anyone outside their specific community. Men are expected to uphold the tradition at all costs, ensuring the bloodline remains entirely closed. Yet, the same community enforcing these rigid patriarchal rules is eager to display modern wealth. They communicate on smartphones, follow modern fashion trends, and signal their prosperity by driving imported German luxury cars. We are left with a glaring contradiction. An ancient, highly restrictive patriarchy is trying to survive in a community fully plugged into modern technology. Something has to give. To understand how they got here, we have to look at their history. The Kalaidzhi, a clan of about 18,000 people, were nomadic tinsmiths, making their living by repairing and tin-plating copper pots across Bulgaria. But as modern manufacturing took over, cheap, mass-produced cookware flooded the market. Within a few decades, their namesake trade was completely wiped out. The economic fallout was severe. Today, the clan is scattered across the country, often living in segregated, makeshift neighborhoods with no running water. They face intense societal discrimination, and local unemployment sits at 80%. Stripped of their economic identity, the Kalaidzhi fell back on their closed-loop marriage market. It became their ultimate survival mechanism, the single cultural anchor keeping them from total assimilation into the broader society. Maintaining that cultural firewall carries a steep price. Local NGO workers and medical assistants in cities like Stara Zagora have started tracking the hidden costs of keeping the community entirely closed off. This animated family tree shows the alarming health data. By curving inward into a closed loop, it illustrates how generations of strict inbreeding have caused a severe spike in genetic diseases, including epilepsy and muscular dystrophy. The sociological damage is equally devastating. Women are systematically restricted to the domestic sphere. Because they are pulled from education early, they lack basic skills and are completely locked out of the modern labor market. The older generation will do whatever it takes to defend the marriage market, just to save their culture. Meanwhile, the extreme isolation required to protect it is poisoning the community from the inside. Late summer usually brings thousands of Kalaidzhi to the foot of the Bachkovo Monastery. It's the site of the highly anticipated annual bride fair, where all the careful grooming and dowry saving is supposed to pay off. But recently, the dynamic shifted. Instead of the usual massive crowds, only a few hundred people showed up. The market was largely empty. Rumors immediately spread through the attendees. Word on the ground blamed a nationalist right-wing motorcycle gang for blockading the main roads and terrifying families into staying home. Violent prejudice remains a documented reality in the region, but the source of the market's collapse is found elsewhere. Kalaidzhi youth have started bypassing the physical gathering entirely, using social media to move their social lives onto their smartphones. This visual represents the strict boundary of parental control, keeping young men and women apart. Platforms like Facebook act as a digital loophole, allowing teenagers to engage in flirting and speed dating far outside their parents' line of sight. By arcing over the barrier, this digital connection provides an unmonitored space where teenagers decide their own futures. The Kalaidzhi Bride Market survived poverty, discrimination, and the loss of an entire industry. But a younger generation, armed with smartphones and the desire for self-determination, is quietly dismantling the institution from the inside out.